fantastic to see everybody here today. I just want to say one thing, friends. We didn't call this demonstration. We didn't call these protests. David Cameron and Nick Clegg called these protests the day that they declared war on our National Health Service. The National Health Service is the jewel in the crown of the United Kingdom, and it's the greatest achievement of collectivism over self-interest. The NHS was built by and for the people in the teeth of a gale of privilege and self-interest. And there's the man that did it, Nye Bevan. Jeremy Hunt has added hundreds of thousands to support to this campaign when he let the cat out of the bag about what the Tories really think of our NHS. He said in 2005, during a period of record investment, plummeting waiting lists and record patient satisfaction, that the NHS, friends, was a 60-year mistake. And he is now Secretary of State for Health. And Cameron knew that when he put him in place, that he'd said that. One absolute and utter disgrace and a show of total contempt by this government for the National Health Service. Therefore, it will come as no surprise to anyone here that to find out in Hull that we have had our budget cut by £100 million. It will come as no surprise to hear that we're losing 300 critical care beds, 10 wards. We're back to bad old days when wards are being shut and the calamity of the closure of the specialist neurology ward in Hull Royal is especially hard to take. That ward is responsible for me being stood here today because the research that they did, the doctors there, the specialist care that I received has helped me to carry on as I am. And that has now gone. And this all happened under Cameron's government. The consultants were so horrified by the closure of this ward that they wrote an open letter to elected representatives saying that they felt that care will be critically eroded. Critically eroded. What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means, friends. It's public sector speak for a bunch of professionals who did not go into medicine to indulge in politics. It is a statement that people will lose their lives. That's what it says. The people who play in politics are the Tories, who have an ideological hatred of the NHS, and it's well documented. Well, Mr Cameron and Mr Lansley, we're here to tell you this. So listen up and listen well. You cannot play politics with people's jobs, with people's services, and with people's lives, because we will not let you, and we will never let you. Although the Tories stand full square at fault for this calamity, we must use our parliamentary system in its full sense to restore our NHS. It's the only means that we've got. Edmund Burke was writing in the early 19th century when, like now, Parliament was a stinking mess. He did not want MPs who represented the East India Company or the rich merchants in silks. He said that MPs should represent everyone, no matter what their background. And what I say to you is this: I don't want my MP, David Davis, representing Servica, who makes software for the NHS. We don't want Yorkshire MP William Hague representing AMBT Cybex, who are an IT supplier to the NHS. Because that's who he's representing. He's not representing constituents. And we don't want Tory MP Jonathan Lord representing Virgin Healthcare in Parliament. Because that's what he's doing, because he's on their payroll. He should be representing his constituents. And we have to make our MPs accountable. The only way forward. We want MPs who speak for us. Therefore, I challenge every single parliamentary candidate in 2015 to sign a pledge to reverse this bill in full and restore full funding to the NHS. Every single one. Because what I'm hearing is Andy Burnham tweeted in December that he will reverse the bill. And we're starting to hear we'll reverse the bill, but we'll keep parts of it that are all right. Well, that's not good enough. We want this bill scrubbed from the statute book like it never, ever existed. And I want them to say in full. So when you hear a Labour MP or a Labour candidate say they want to reverse the bill, make them say in full. Otherwise, it's not worth the paper it's written on. We shouldn't restrict this to party. Anybody should be able to sign up to it, any candidate, because there are Tories, believe it or not, who voted in good faith for this cutting a deficit, not the NHS stuff, right? And they're as disgusted as we are about what's happened. So if Tory candidates want to sign up to it, then good for them. Now remember, we've got power here in Yorkshire. Ed Bowles, Ed Miliband, Yvette Cooper, Rachel Rees and Hilary Bent, to name but a few, are Labour MPs. And Mr Bowles in particular is on a proverbial wafer-thin majority. Now if he doesn't sign this pledge that we're going to give him, then he's got to justify that to his voters and he could find himself out. We must challenge politicians and let them know that we're watching you and we can kick you out if you break a promise. It's simple as that. And why are we doing all this? Well, I think it's pretty straightforward, friends. Because I believe that this country belongs to us as much as it belongs to that cabinet of millionaires in London. This country belongs to us as much as it belongs to Barclays Bank, or Starbucks, or all these other companies that are filling their taxes, and the people that caused this financial meltdown in the past. And there is hope if we restore our democracy, and if we organise, and if we stick together. Because at the end of the day, as my good friend Danny Martin tells us, Danny's 25 years old, he developed testicular cancer last year, he fought a grueling battle against that, 63 days of chemotherapy and a horrible operation. He's through it now. And he said at that time, we're all NHS patients, some of us just haven't checked in yet. If you have been, thank you for listening.